Frank Lloyd Wright's work is inscribed in the World Heritage List as pivotal to the development of modern architecture around the globe. And in doing that, he was always embracing new technology, new opportunities for us to examine how we live better and how we live more in harmony with nature.
This site, Taliesin West, was his laboratory. It's a place where he experimented with materials and form in architecture. And so the Ketra system, being so innovative, really just fit perfectly for our site.
One of the largest challenges that we have in a historic site is staying true to the actual architecture and design. We had to be very mindful through the retrofit and also partnering with a local resource we have, Wipliance, to make sure that we stay true to the design elements of Frank Lloyd Wright.
A historic restoration like this, to bring modern-day lighting into these originally handcrafted fixtures, took careful attention to detail and consideration. On this project, there was no ability to do wiring or cut open any walls like you could in a normal project. So it took great wireless technology, which we had from Ketra, to be able to communicate from room to room and building to building.
And so when we think of architecture, we often think of the roof and the walls. But when Wright thought about his architecture, it was about the light, the sound, the space, and how these things work together to make the quality of life better for the people who are in his buildings. He'd come out to Arizona in the 1920s to work with one of his colleagues, and he fell in love with just the landscapes of Arizona. He said everything an architect needs is already provided for. He comes out here, December 1937, acquires this land. He sends a note back to his colleagues, his apprentices in Wisconsin, telling them to bring picks, saws, shovels, bring cellos and violas, because we're going to have culture too. And they begin, these 20-odd young apprentices and Wright and his family begin to clear this land and build something that they've never built before, all inspired by what they see around them, both the landscapes themselves, but also the evidence of indigenous cultures, ancient people who inhabited this landscape and knew how to work with nature as their only technology to create a hospitable dwelling. In looking for partners to do any work here, but particularly the type of work that we're doing when we start to talk about new lighting that could embrace all kinds of wiring and other things, we have to have best-in-class partners that appreciate the sensitivity of the architecture, appreciate our mission to preserve this architecture, and do their work in ways that are minimally invasive, that really respect the sensitivity of the space in which they're working. And installing this Ketra lighting, because of the technology and because the team at Wipliance is so respectful of the legacy represented at Taliesin West, all of this lighting could be installed in ways that did no damage. Quite the opposite, because of the quality of light, improved the spaces at Taliesin West.
As someone who loves history, touring the site multiple times over the years, and imagining what it was like with natural light in the beginning, the use of artificial light as electricity was brought to site, and now the transformative power of having human-centric lighting, it's a whole new experience. Whether it's having the optimal lighting for a boardroom meeting in the middle of the day, or lighting from the prow in the evening at sunset, Lutron's Ketra lighting provides the right lighting for the right time of day.
In the drafting studio, we used our Lumaris tape light. Lumaris is a great product for this application, as we're casting a light glow in the evening hours that mimics that daylight that we have coming in during the day. With Lightbar Slim, a linear light source, we were able to update existing fixtures as well as add additional layers of light for task lighting. One of the magic moments for me with Ketra and Taliesin West was really looking at the materials that Frank used in the space, specifically the stonework, and putting Ketra on it, we're able to bring out new tones that we may not have seen before. During the daytime, Ketra has that ability to bring the outside in, bringing those cool mid-daytime temperatures throughout the space. So as people are transitioning from the indoor or outdoor, it's a natural feeling. In the evening, with Ketra, we're able to paint the property with that warm campfire glow and even add little splashes of color to really make the space pop.
I asked Fred, our head of preservation, who led the project, "How's it going, Fred?" And Fred said, "No problems." And that, in fact, was the case. In fact, every member of our staff was so complimentary of the respect that Wipliance paid to our visitors, to our staff, to make sure that their experiences weren't disrupted, even as this work was taking place. One of the things that's very important to us at the foundation is that Taliesin West continues to be a laboratory for architecture. We think it would be a great injustice for Wright's legacy to be confined to the past, when his whole career is about helping to shape the future. And so we continue to work with innovative leaders in the building and architecture space to embrace Wright's principles using modern technology and take him out of the past and plant him firmly in the present with an eye toward the future. We had an event, and everybody, many of whom had been here before, said the place had never looked more beautiful. That there was a quality to the light that suddenly at night you could see inside these warm and gently lit spaces and start to imagine what life was like here for the apprentices in the darkness of a desert preserve with starlit skies above you and these beautiful buildings. You just start to think about how you fit into the world a bit differently. And when we do that, when we give people that space to have that feeling, we've achieved our mission and we're perpetuating Wright's legacy.